Thank you, Jehovah, Heavenly Father, for everything you do for me. Heavenly Father, I ask that you forgive me where I fall short, and I ask the Holy Spirit to intercede on my behalf as I read and pray. In Yeshua's precious name I pray. Amen. I'm doing the broadcast now. I did it earlier, but I had technical difficulties and I couldn't upload it. So I'm posting it now, and I probably should have done it earlier because I'm so tired right now. But I'm going to do it anyways, and well, I'll go from there. And I read through a couple of chapters of where I was going with my broadcast. I feel like I'm doing it over and over again because I did it over and over this morning trying to submit it on my broadcast, but my broadcast didn't go through because my internal storage was overloaded. It was how do I explain? It was all gone, and I was trying to transfer the files and move things around so I could do the broadcast, because when I do my broadcast, if I don't have if internal storage is all full, then I can't upload anything, and it disappears and goes away. So I did 2 broadcasts, no, maybe 3. I might have done 3 broadcasts, and they disappeared and went out into the freaking ether somewhere. I don't know where. Went into somewhere in cyberspace that they never return and come back. So I'm going to do this one here again. Now it's evening, but I'm going to put it up. Okay. Proverbs 25. There's the 25th, isn't it? I've done it wrong. Yep, it's the 25th. These also are Proverbs of Solomon, which made advance the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. The glory of God is to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. The heavens for height, and the earth for depth, but in the heart of kings there is no searching. Take away the dross from the silver, and shall go out as the refiners of vessel. Take away the wicked from before a king, and is settled in righteousness his throne. Not do honor yourself before a king, and in the place of the great not do stand. For it is better, he says to you, come up here, than you be put lower before a noble whom your eyes have seen. Not to go out to fight hastily, lest what shall you do in the end of it, when has shamed you, your neighbor? Contend your cause for with your neighbor, and the secret of another not do uncover. Lest put you to shame he who hears, lest put you to shame he who hears, and your evil report not returns. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken at the right time. As a ring golden and an item of gold, so a reprover wise on an ear hearing. Like cold snow in a day of harvest, so a messenger faithful to his senders, and his master's soul he makes return. Like clouds and wind, but with no rain, is a man, boasting himself in a gift of falsehood. In length before to anger is persuaded a ruler, and a tongue soft shatters the bone. Have you found honey? Eat only your fill, lest you be satiated and vomit it out. Make rare your foot from your neighbor's house, lest he be full of you and hate you. A maul and a sword and a sharp arrow is a man who testifies against his neighbor, false witness. Witness false. Like a tooth bad and a foot slipping is trust in a traitor in a day of distress. As one removing a garment in a day cold, and as vinegar on soda, so one singing with songs on a heart evil. If is hungry your hater, give him to eat bread, and if he is thirsty, give him to drink water. For coals of fire you shall heap upon his head, and Jehovah shall reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and a face indignant by a secret tongue. It is better to dwell on a roof corner than with a woman of strives in a house to share. Like waters cold to a soul weary, a report is good from a far off country. Like a spring fouled and a fountain ruined are the righteous tottering before the wicked. To eat much honey not is good, and to search out their glory is glory. Like a city broken down without a wall is a man to whom there is no control to his spirit. I'm going to pick up on Jeremiah. I read so far, forget. It was one, I believe it was one we started out with yesterday, wasn't it? Yesterday seems like today to me. Hold on. I picked it up at 2. But I don't know if I even got any of this uploaded, so we might just start over. Right, Jeremiah 1. And then I read through 2 through 2 through 4 tonight. Maybe read it. Yeah, no, yeah, 2 through 4. So, I'm trying to think if I need to read Jeremiah 1 all over again. Pick it up at 2. Jeremiah 2. From the... I wish I had the Septuagint. This is the interlinear Hebrew English Bible. I'm reading the Hebrew version. Chapter 2. And came the word of Jehovah to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Jehovah, I remember you, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousals, your going after me in the wilderness, in the land not sown. Holy was Israel to Jehovah, the first fruits of his increase. All that it devour become guilty. Evil shall come on them, declares Jehovah. Hear the word of Jehovah, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. And one thing I wanted to point out on this verse here, where it says, right here, I think I'm going to read it again to you. It says, all that devour it become guilty. On the left-hand side, on the English version, it says, all that devour him become guilty. Evil shall come on them, declares Jehovah. Hear that word of Jehovah, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. That's what it says over on the left. On here it says, all that devour him become guilty. Evil shall come on them, declares Jehovah. Hear the word of Jehovah, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Jehovah, what have your fathers found in me? Iniquity, that they went far from me, far, and have walked after vanity, and have become vain, and not did not they did say, where is Jehovah who brought up us from the land of Egypt, who led us in the wilderness, in the land of deserts and of pits, in a land of drought and deep darkness, in a land not has passed through it a man, and not has lived a man there. And I brought you into a land plentiful, to eat its fruit and its goodness. But you entered, and you defiled my land, and my inheritance you made an abomination. The priests not did say, where is Jehovah? And they who handled the law not knew me. And the shepherds rebelled against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal. And after things not profitable they went. Therefore still I will contend with you, says Jehovah, and the sons of your sons I will contend. For cross over to the coast of Kittim and see, and Kedar, send to and consider carefully and see if there is any like this, has changed a nation its gods, and they were not gods. But my people have changed their glory without it having profit. Be amazed, O heavens, at this, and be horrified, be utterly desolated, declares Jehovah. For two evils have committed my people. They have forsaken the fountain of living waters, to hew out for themselves cisterns broken that not can hold water. Is a servant Israel? Or a servant of the house is he? Why has he become a prey? Against him warred the young lions. They gave their voice, and they made his land a waste. His cities are burned without inhabitants. Also the sons of Nob and Tenaphanes have fed on your crown. Not this have done you to yourself by your forsaking Jehovah your God at the time he led you by the way? And now what is for you toward the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sihor? Or what for you toward the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? Will you teach your own evil, and your apostasies will you reprove? Therefore know and see that is evil and bitter your forsaking Jehovah your God. And not my fear is in you, declares the Lord Jehovah of hosts. For long ago you broke your yoke and tore up your bonds. But you said, not I will pass by, for on every hill high and under every green tree you lay down like a harlot. Yet I planted you, a choice vine, holy, a seed true. How then have you turned into for me the shoots of a vine foreign, the shoots of a foreign vine? Though you wash yourself with potash and multiply for yourself soap, is stained your iniquity before me, declares the Lord Jehovah. How can you say, not I am defiled after Baals, not I have gone? See your way in the valley. Know what you have done. You are a camel, swift crossing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness. In the desire of her passion she sniffs at the wind. In her time, who can turn her away? All those who seek her, not will they tire themselves in her month. They will find her. Withhold your foot from being bare, and your throat from thirst. But you said, it is hopeless. No, for I love strangers, and after them I will go. As is ashamed the thief when he is found, so is ashamed the house of Israel. They, their kings, their rulers, and their priests, and their prophets, who say to a tree, my father you are, and to a stone, we gave birth. For they turn to me their back, and not their face. But in the time of their evil, they will say, rise up and save us. But where are your gods that you made for you? Let them arise, if they can save you in the time of your evil. For as the number of your cities, so are your gods, O Judah. Why do you contend with me? All of you have rebelled against me, says Jehovah. In vain I have struck your sons. Correction not they took has devoured your own sword, your prophets, like a lion destroying. O generation, you see the word of Jehovah. A wilderness have I been to Israel, or a land of darkness? Why do you say, my people, we roam freely? Not we will come more to you. Can forget a virgin her finery? Or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me, days without number. What do you trim your way to seek love? To seek love. Therefore even the evil women you have taught your ways. Also on your skirts is found the blood of the lives of the poor innocents. Not breaking in you did find them, but on all these, yet you say, because I am innocent, surely shall turn his anger from me. Behold, I will judge with you, because you say not I have sinned. Why do you go about so much to change your way? Also, of Egypt you will be ashamed, as you were ashamed of Assyria. Even from this place you will go out, and your hands on your head. For has rejected Jehovah those in whom you trust, and not you will prosper by them. Chapter 3, Jeremiah, saying, if let's go a man his wife, and she goes from him, and will be for another man, will he return to her again? Not greatly would be defiled that land, but you whore with companions many, yet you return to me, says Jehovah. Lift up your eyes on the bare heights and see, where not have you lain with? By the highways you have sat for them, like an Arab in the wilderness, and you have defiled the land with your fornications and your evilness. So are withheld the showers that the late rain not has been. And there was and forehead a woman, a harlot there was to you. You refused to be ashamed. Not just now have you called to me, my father, the friend of my youth you are. He will keep his anger forever, or he will guard it to the end? Behold, you have spoken, and you have done all the evil things that you could. Now said Jehovah to me, in the days of Josiah the king, have you seen what has done the apostate Israel? So went up she on every hill high and under every tree green, and fornicated there, and said, after she has done all these things to me, will she return? But not she did return, and saw it treacherous, her sister Judah. And I saw when for all the causes for which committed adultery the apostate Israel, I sent her away and gave a writ of divorce to her. Yet not her did her treacherous sister Judah, but she went and whored also she. And it was from her harlotry's folly she defiled the land, and fornicated with stones and with trees, and yet for all this not has turned to me treacherous her sister Judah with her whole heart, but with falsehood, says Jehovah. And said Jehovah to me, has justified herself the apostate Israel more than treacherous Judah. Go and cry these words northward and say, Return, O apostate Israel, says Jehovah. Not I will make fall my face on you, for merciful I am, says Jehovah. Not I will keep anger forever. Only know your iniquity, that against Jehovah your God you have rebelled, and have scattered your ways to the strangers under every tree green. And my voice not you have obeyed, says Jehovah. Turn back, O sons of apostate, says Jehovah, for I am Lord over you. And I will take you, one from a city, and two from a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you shepherds as my heart, and they will feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it will be when you multiply and are fruitful in the land in those days, says Jehovah, not they will say still the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, and not it will come to their hearts, nor will they remember it, nor miss it, nor will it be made again. At that time they will call Jerusalem the throne of Jehovah, and will be gathered to it all nations, to the name of Jehovah, to Jerusalem, and not they shall walk any more after the stubbornness of their evil heart. In those days shall walk the house of Judah with the house of Israel, and they will come together from the land of the north, to the land that I gave as a heritage to your fathers. Then I said, how gladly I would set you among my sons, and give you a pleasant land, a beautiful inheritance among the hosts of the nations. And I said, my father, you shall call me, and from following me not turn away. Surely as treacherously departs a wife from her companion, so you have betrayed me, O house of Israel, says Jehovah. A voice on the bare heights was heard, weeping, pleadings of the sons of Israel, for they have perverted their way. They have forgotten Jehovah their God. Return, O sons apostate. I will heal your apostasies. Behold, we come to you, for you are Jehovah our God. Truly, for delusion comes from the hills, tumult on the mountains. Truly, in Jehovah our God is the salvation of Israel. But the shameful idol has devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. Let us lie down in our shame, and let cover us our disgrace. For against Jehovah our God we have sinned, we and our fathers, from our youth even to this day, not we have obeyed the voice of Jehovah our God. And I stopped right there because I gotta go do something else right now. Thank you, Jehovah Heavenly Father, for everything you do for me, for your kindness to me. Forgive me where I fall short, and thank you again for all your tender mercies towards me. I ask that you watch over the one that I love, and watch over Peggy, Victor, Demario, and also my brother and his family. In Yeshua's precious name I pray all these things.